The last plot we're going through is the humble bar plot. The bar plot is great for comparing values, whether it be counts between groups or sums or averages. So what do we really have to think about when we are going to make a bar plot? It's actually to make a table of values. So for example, we can make a parking count table, and we're taking the data for parking, and we can use the value counts method. Okay, so if we run this, we see that, well, we can clear all the output here. So we have clean sheets. Now we should have a parking count variable here. And if we look at it, we have parking either 0 or 1 and the count of each instance. So 0 parking, we have 11 apartments with 0 parking, and we have 9 apartments with parking space available. Okay, so now we have the count table, and we can make our parking categories. Because these will define the values on the y-axis. The count will define the height of each bar plot. So let's see. We have two different values, and that's 0 and it's 1. Okay, so now we have parking categories and we have parking count. So we are now ready to make our figure, and we split into figure object and an axis object. And we make the subplots. And now we can make the axis with the bar plot function. And we need to pass in two things. We need to pass in the categories. That's the parking categories. And then we need to have the height of the different bars. And that would be the parking count. And if you are not working in the interactive window, you should have the plt.show. But we are working in the interactive window, so we can just hit Shift Enter. And now we have the different bars in our bar plot. So no parking is 0. It has 11 instances. And parking spot, yes, has 9 instances in our data. Now it's time to make this plot a bit more readable, because the categories 0 and 1 is not that self-explanatory. So we have no parking instead of 0 and parking instead of 1. We just run that, so the parking categories variable is updated. And then we just update the plot itself. Now we have a much better plot. No parking has this many counts in our data, and parking has this many counts in our data. This also works with string variables. And remember that our city variable consists of strings. So we could make a city count variable, which is the count of the city vector here. So then we use the value counts method, and then we can have city categories. And that should be equal to data, city, and unique values. Now we have both the categories and we have the count of the categories. So we have a value we can join to each category. We can make the bar plot. Figure axis and plt dot subplots, and then axis should be the bar plot, and then the city categories and city count. And now we see that, well, we have 10 of Oslo and 10 of Trondheim in our data. The last thing we can do with this plot, this bar chart, is to add some color. And here we can just specify a list of colors. And now we can use the hexadecimal, like 6744 AD for the first category, and the 9F44 AD for the second category. So what that would look like is this. So that's how you can make bar charts in Python.